it makes sense to call for Mr. Bunting to resign. And at the same time, we have Mr. Bunting that sits in the Senate same way. And really need to remove himself until the investigation done. No.
Hello, JPU family. Welcome to another episode of Jamaica Politics Uncovered. In that video that you just saw was a protest at the PNP headquarters back in, I want to say 2021-ish. This was followed by the Integrity Commission's report on Peter Bunting at the time. There were calls from civil society asking for Bunting to resign. Likewise, comrades were saying, listen, the party is already in a very low position, and you, with this baggage, you need to go. That was a sentiment from the People's National Party supporters as they protested at the party's headquarters. Why am I talking about this? I am talking about this because of the national discussion now about the Integrity Commission's report against Prime Minister Andrew Holness, which the PNP is now weaponizing against the Prime Minister, calling for his resignation and all sorts of things. Now let us see how Peter Bunting responded to the IC's report against him. And it's not just how Peter Bunting responded, it's how the People's National Party, including its leader, Mark Golding, responded at the time. Dated Wednesday, May 3rd, 2023, in a Gleaner article, it's titled, Bunting Refuses to Sign Integrity Commission's Leadership Code of Conduct over Flawed Report. Opposition Senator Peter Bunting said at the time he will not sign the Integrity Commission's Leadership Code of Conduct as he still takes issue with the special report put out last year by the body regarding the issuance of gun permits. The Commission's report cited that Bunting, who was National Security Minister between 2012 and 2016, granted a license to a man whose United States records for drug trafficking were expunged. Of course, an expungement doesn't mean it didn't happen, right? The other issue concerned another man who was never charged, according to the Gleaner, for the matter. An assault case against him was dismissed, and the judge made no orders in another. At the time, Bunting hit back stating that the commission, in its final report, left out information, parts of his submission relating to the role of the Firearm Review Board, which would, quote, assist the public in distilling the facts of the case. Bunting said that he maintained his position, which he reiterated in a letter to opposition leader Mark Golding at the time. In a media release, he said that the flawed and misleading information contained in the Commission's report has negatively impacted his reputation. That's Bunting speaking. Bunting said he will not sign the document until the report is rectified, arguing that the Integrity Commission omitted the critical fact that he was acting on the recommendations of the Firearm Review Board. He labeled the omission as deliberate and inexcusable. He highlighted that the chairman of the Integrity Commission was serving as the chairman of the Firearm Review Board at the time the report was issued and for much of the period covered by the report. Bunting said until the commission addresses his concern, he will continue to limit his interactions with the entity, which includes signing its leadership code. The commission has been pushing for politicians to sign the code, which was shared months prior to this article. Among other principles, the code commits each leader to be honest, to be accountable, and to be open in fulfilling their public duties. So after that article on May 3rd of 2023, on June 8th, 2023, it was reported that Bunting was cleared and exonerated by the Integrity Commission. Following his public protest and after being accused by the Integrity Commission of facilitating the granting of gun license to persons of, quote, questionable character, Former Minister of National Security Peter Bunting had been exonerated by the oversight body. Now, just to be clear, what they wrote in the report was that basically Bunting gave gun license to a man who was on gun conviction in the United States and another man who was accused of having inappropriate sexual relations with a minor child, which was reported, but he was not charged for it. This happened in Jamaica, and Bunting gave the firearm license to the man. These are the allegations and accusations. So Bunting in return was saying, listen, I complied with the firearm license regulations, right? If you guys remember correctly, during the time of the tabling of the report against Bunting, a report was also tabled against Bobby Montague, who is also a former National Security Minister, about the issue of the issuance of firearm license being granted to people of questionable character. So when the Integrity Commission so-called exonerated him, Bunting said that his confidence in the IC had been restored after the IC exonerated him in an addendum to a special report which first accused him of acting improperly in the issuing of firearm license. Bunting said he thought that it was a commendable effort to correct the record. And he said, I think it demonstrates a commitment to fairness and impartiality by the IC. He said that the commission, which was only 7 years old at the time of this report, was still going through a learning process. And as such, if errors are identified and brought to the attention of the commission and it is re-examined and fixed, it reflects a move toward greater professionalism. He said, I welcome the fact that they eventually deemed it sufficiently credible to carry out a re-examination of the report as it affected me. So, like I told you, Mark Golding was fully behind Bunting when civil society and comrades and everybody else were calling for Bunting to step down. Mark Golding, right off the bat, said, no, I will not ask him to step down. He fully stood behind him and defended him against the Integrity Commission. But now, in the very early stages of the Integrity Commission's tabling of the report about the Prime Minister, you had Bunting and Golding out there, immediately calling for the Prime Minister to resign, even as bloggers and vloggers, intelligent bloggers and vloggers, who have examined the report and are pointing out the flaws of miscalculation, flaws that the Prime Minister pointed out in the Parliament. There is absolutely no doubt that the Integrity Commission needs to review the report against the Prime Minister. But there is a clear case of desperation and hypocrisy of this PNP and its leadership. So on June 8th of 2023, last year, Bunting finally signed the Integrity Commission's Code of Conduct. So this process of tabling reports, accusing people of things, and then re-examining, doesn't the same patience and consideration apply to the Prime Minister or anybody else for that matter, where there is a clear need for review? I believe so. So the Prime Minister is now, in court with the IC about the matter, and it's probably going to take a little time. So all this thing about resign and blah, 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 the PNP must stop the hypocrisy. Bunting especially, he should, as a matter of fact, I don't really see him out there talking much, to be truthful. But Mark Golding, who supported and backed him fully, should tread lightly, because you don't want to come off as a hypocrite and as somebody who is desperate. And that's what it looks like. Anyway, guys, you are listening to Jamaica Politics Uncovered. Make sure you go and Google this. Bunting's refusal to sign the IC Code of Conduct. Look up what the report said and how the whole thing fleshed out. I'm just reminding people of what happened and how it went down. Make sure you're subscribed over here, guys. Make sure you are inviting your friends to join us. Make sure you are tuning into our live broadcast. Turn those notifications on so you don't miss a beat on this channel. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.